Hey there! Let's have much more fun with Paper Mache. This time, we'll focus on puppets and masks, something that's been a popular use of Paper Mache ever since it was first invented.
Over the centuries, from Europe to the Far East, paper mache has been a go-to material for creating heads and hands for marionettes and hand puppets. It's quicker and easier than carving wood. It's also used in giant festival and parade characters, requiring multiple puppeteers and long rods to control the puppet's actions. In my previous paper mache video, I did a caricature of President Joe. Here I'll make a small rod puppet of him. I'll start with a couple of small Amazon boxes. The head box is open in the front to add a wooden rod and a small block for his lower jaw, connected to wire with screws. That wire for the lower jaw wraps around the horizontal wooden rod and comes out the back of his head to control the mouth movement. Inside the body box, wood blocks are glued inside for attaching the arms. Wood blocks are also used for the upper and lower arms, held together with wire and screw eyes, with screw eyes also connecting the top of the arms to the shoulder block. The hands are wire and are pushed into holes drilled in the wood forearm. I'll mix up some paper mache paste. I like methyl cellulose, and I demonstrated this in the first video, Fun with Paper Mache. I'll use paper mache and newspaper to build up the basic shape of the head and the face and the body, and brown paper towels for the facial features. The same goes for the hands and his clothing. And the whole thing will be finished with acrylic paint. Another caricature I drew in the previous video is one of my favorite actors, Christopher Walken, and here I'll make a puppet of him. I use a pair of Amazon boxes like before, and the head box is open in the front. It has a lower jaw made from a wooden block connected by screws to wire that wraps around a wooden dowel rod that goes out the back of the head for controlling it. There's a wooden closet pole rod attached to the bottom of the head box that goes through a bathroom tissue roll that's connected to the body box to give that neck stability so you can turn the head. Arms and legs are made from wooden rods held together with screw eyes and wire hands. I'll use newspaper and brown paper towels to build up the face and the body and facial features. As you can see, Christopher has legs and wooden block feet compared with President Joe, who I only made the upper body because he'll be attached to the back of a podium. He's also painted with acrylic paint. This movement is controlled by wooden rods connected to the back of the limbs and connecting him to a wooden base. They're all painted with chroma key green paint. That paint, anything that color, can be deleted in the editing stage using a green screen keyer.
Welcome! It gives me a great pleasure to represent this transformative organization. I stand before you, a new man, cleansed of the taunting voice of the cowbell, mesmerized by its hollow whisper, free at last of its salacious beckoning, that siren of the barnyard. Yow! Zowie! Wow! Wow! Don't touch this cowbell! I gotta have this cowbell, baby! You know, I've tried many times to free myself of this bovine temptress. Alas, I am but a man with an instrument of the field tethered to me. Who amongst you is without guilty pleasures may cast the first tub of yogurt? You know, many have speculated that when a cowbell rings, a heifer gets its wings or becomes a ribeye. Yeah, or probably the ribeye thing. Yeah, I think it's a ribeye, yeah.
In the previous video, More Fun with Paper Mache, Part 2, I made a character named Mr. Jack-o'-lantern, and here's a puppet version. The puppet head was made the same way as the sculpture version, paper mache over a plastic pumpkin form. But here I turn it upside down, so the large opening provides access for fingers, and I sculpt the pumpkin stem to glue on top. Hands are made out of paper mache, and the body is made from a piece of newspaper cut to a puppet shape and glued together on the edges, and then paper mache is added on top of it to give it some strength. There the hands are glued in place, and next the head will be glued on and attached with strips of paper mache. I'll also make more of those long twisted pieces that look root-like that can be added, and it's painted with acrylics. Paper mache developed in China's Han Dynasty and spread to India, Japan, across Asia, and into the West. Paper mache masks were popular in European festivals like Carnival in Venice and in the American Mardi Gras and Halloween celebration. In my video, More Fun with Paper Mache, I also drew a caricature of the Donald, and here I'll work on some masks of this character. I start with cardboard and glue and masking tape and stapler and put together a basic form. I'm building it over a paper mache head form, which is a little easier. I'll coat it with newspaper and brown paper towels for strength, and then start adding the facial features. I'll build different expressions on different masks.
Greetings, my interweb friends. I'm here to promote the YouTube Pun for Your Life channel and my latest work of lucrative piety. We love the piety, don't we? Especially apple piety. That's my favorite. It's the Arc de Trump. It's a beautiful thing, folks. It comes filled with autographed Bibles. Use it as a focal point for metaphysical discussion or as a coffee table. That's right. I'm the pun master. I invented it. I'm the best, or perhaps not. So, unless you're radical or have thin skin and a bad comb-over, you gotta love the puns and the YouTubing, folks. Love that. Hey, wait a minute, what's this? Hey, wait a minute there. That's a lot of malarkey. Who's that guy think he is? A flip-flapping flim-flammer. We were both there when Ugg invented the wheel and made a crack about your mileage may vary. Yeah, hey, I'm back, baby. And in closing, remember, I'm the one who brought you all these precious pun thingies. All I ask of you is to ignore the fellow behind the curtain, and worship the ground I declare bankruptcy over, and buy whatever patriotic swag I'm selling. And keep making puns so we can keep making YouTube great again. It's tremendous, folks. It really is. It's the interweb, right? We love the interweb. God bless the interweb. And I gotta go, folks. I smell a subpoena.
This time it'll be a simple face mask. I'll use plasticine clay to build a face form, and I'll apply paper mache on top of that using strips of brown paper towel dipped in methyl cellulose. It'll take several layers to give it some strength. When it's thoroughly dry, it can be peeled off the clay form. Use acrylics to paint it, and then I'll add a little bit of raffia as kind of a tribal hair decoration around the edges. Here's a bird mask, or will be. The basic form is made of old cardboard boxes stapled and glued together and coated with paper mache. So you can pull that over your head. The beak is made of scrap cardboard boxes. Here's a picture of my dad teaching grade school kids paper mache in the 1970s and reconnecting with the paper mache self-portrait he made in his 70s. That base mask that I built for the Donald and for the bird is made from scrap cardboard boxes. There's a face plate that's cut and a support piece that goes around the back and one over the top of the head as well. They're glued and stapled together. Masking tape is used to make sure there aren't any sharp points from staples and to give it some more strength. And the whole thing's covered with paste and brown paper towels. Just about any character can be built out of this, whether it was that bird mask or the Donald or whatever. When my dad taught grade school art, he would bring a bag full of old cereal boxes, paper towel rolls, paper bags, and he would encourage kids to use those and to bring some themselves. Construction paper could be cut into strips and glued and folded to make accordion-like legs for a paper bag puppet. The paper bags would be filled with old newspaper, scrap cardboard to make the beak on a bird or to make wings. Feathers are made sometimes from paper mache or could be from scraps of construction paper. String can be added to the top of the head for controlling the puppet.
Whether you're making puppets and masks for a humorous puppet sketch, a parade, Halloween costumes, or maybe a kid's project, there's no limit to the fun you can have with paper mache.